It's the TEFL Express podcast, brought to you by TEFL Express, your partner in the world of teaching English as a foreign language. For all the latest and greatest in the world of TEFL training and materials, please visit our website at teflexpress.co.uk. Enjoy the show!
Hi, welcome to the TEFLCast. My name is Adam, and with me today is a guest ESL teacher. Can you please start by introducing yourself?
Hi, my name is Jack. I'm from the northeast of England. I've been teaching on and off for 3.5, nearly 4 years, 2 years of which have been in China. Back home, I mostly dealt with pupils with special educational needs, which involved children with emotional issues, physical issues, or children from ethnic minorities who English wasn't their first language.
That sounds great. And what are you up to currently?
I'm currently teaching in 2 kindergartens in Beijing. I deal with children aged from 2 to 6, but my primary focus is children aged 4.
So most of your experience has been with young learners. How important is it to lesson plan? Do you find it more important to lesson plan for older students, or would you say young learners, or is there a difference?
There are differences, but like with younger learners, you need to plan because younger learners can be very difficult, more prone to temper tantrums, or just plain scared. So you need to have a lot of things to fall back on. You can't just go in with one idea because that might not work. If you're dealing with a very emotional class or a very hyperactive class, what you plan might not work. So you need to have a lot of choice in what you can do.
Right. And now, how important is the time involved in that? Like I've taught in the past, and I know when making lesson plans, you have to account, a good bit of your evening into making the lesson plan. But how much time do you think is appropriate to spend on making a lesson plan in the evening?
I'd say about 1/3 of the time that you would spend on the lesson. So if your lesson is an hour long, you should be planning for about 20 minutes. But the more you do this, like over time, it will become less and less as you have more ideas. You don't have to sit thinking about things. You can just put it straight on the paper.
Good. So, like, for example, if I was a new teacher starting out, it's very possible that I could spend up to 2 hours even making an hour-long lesson.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
When you first start out. I've spent hours in the past over a half-hour lesson.
Right.
Like when I first started, it's a bit nerve-wracking, but once you get the confidence and the practice, you can shorten that time a little bit.
Right.
But you, especially early on, you need to put in a lot of planning.
Right. So, and like you said, a little experience goes a long way too. Like once you have some under your belt, it's probably, just second nature to do your lesson plan at that time.
Yeah, but you still need to do a lesson plan. Even if you've got years of experience, you can't just wing it. You need to go in with at least a plan B as well as what you want to do, because children are children and people are people. So you need to be prepared.
Definitely. I do know, again, from past experience too, that with the young learners, especially like you're currently teaching, you really need to, in your lesson, map out, how much time you allot for each activity. And it's very, very important that you adhere to it. You stick to it just for the sake that the kids really need that routine, to get that instilled in them through the lesson plan.
Indeed. Like you need a lot of structure and continuity with your lessons. For example, I have 10 minutes of singing at the start of my lessons, so the pupils can get into the routine. They know once they're singing songs, the lesson's going to begin. And I always finish with a 5-minute story, usually in a book, and they know that that's the end of the lesson. And it's going to last for 5 minutes, and they know that this is their wind down time. They still have to think and be active, but they know this is the final push sort of thing.
Right. They know the end is in sight.
Yeah, in a good way.
Exactly. Now, what would you say is the most difficult part of doing a lesson plan?
Keeping your lessons creative. Like the temptation is just to rehash the same old things over and over again, but that's not going to keep your pupils interested, and it's not going to keep you interested. So even if you're not a creative person, you still need to be putting a lot of variety into your lessons, not just for the sake of education, but also for your own sanity.
Yeah, variety definitely makes the day go better, especially the lessons, and like you said, for yourself and especially the students.